How is it, everybody? Welcome back. Brother Kimo here with Reload Hawaii, and thanks for watching another video. Tonight we're going to be talking about the NRA's basic pistol shooting class. So if you're in a place like Hawaii and you need to take the class, hopefully the information you get from here is going to help you out when you take the class. So stay tuned, we're going to be talking about gun safety. I've been teaching for a few years now the NRA basic pistol shooting class, and I see the same mistakes made over and over again, and I also see people struggling with the same things over and over again. These are the 3 rules that the NRA wants you to know to practice gun safety. So what I'm going to do first is get all the easy stuff out of the way, the stuff that people struggle with. I'll start off with stuff like the no-no zones on a revolver and a semi-automatic. I'll finish up with the grip so you guys can practice all this stuff before class. And then I want to get into how the 3 rules that the NRA wants you to practice can really have an effect on the things that people struggle with. And just letting you guys know, for time consideration, all of the pistols have been safety checked prior to them getting on the table. Alright, the no-no zone on a revolver is right here, alright? You don't want any portion of this here. There is so much, like the gas that's coming out of here is coming out at a very rapid rate. Check out the Mythbusters video. Hickok45 has a video showing what kind of damage this can do. But just remember, you don't want anything passing here because the gas is very dangerous and could possibly kind of sever one of your fingers off. The no-no zone on a semi-automatic is back here. You don't want anything to do with this area here, so no fingers like this, like that, or like that. Reason being is that this slide is going to be reciprocating back and forth to strip off the next round on the magazine to get it into the chamber. And if your thumb is back here, you could possibly break your thumbs. So remember, the revolver, it's past the cylinder. On a semi-automatic, it's here, not not there. And of course, the muzzle of the gun. Be very mindful as to where you're pointing it. Always point it in a safe direction, and watch what you might unintentionally get in front of the muzzle, but always keep it pointed in a safe direction. You like to think that getting one of these into one of these is easy, but for a first timer it can be really frustrating. I've seen these things go flying across the range. Pretty much all you want to do is just kind of get it down on the table or the deck there, and you got these little steel lips here. You just kind of push it back. That's fine. Just remember to get it ahead of that area. Push down and push back. The second one is where the fun begins, and most people they don't realize it, but the head stamp of this area is getting caught on the mouth of the casing there, and they're like, oh, it's not going in. Get it down on the deck, push it in, and just remember to put it after. Push down and slide back, and you're set to go. We got ammo and a gun on the table, so the safe direction is that way, but this is how you load a revolver. Pretty much you're going to make like a punk rock sign like this, and these 2 fingers are where the magic happens. So this is the cylinder. This is the cylinder release kind of switch here. So you're going to take your punk rock signs like this. You're going to push forward and push. And that's going to kick it out that way. And you're just going to load 1, close, and you're set to go. Locking back the slide on a semi-automatic pistol is difficult for a couple different reasons. Number 1, the recoil spring or guide rod spring can be pretty stiff on some of these. So people are going to have a very difficult time with weak hands getting that notch to line up with that slide catch or slide release, depending on what you want to say. And second, it's a very unfamiliar motion. If you haven't done it, it's going to be difficult. My only suggestion is to just keep pushing, right? You're going to push that way and push that way. And just make sure you don't get your hand caught in that, because as you push this backwards, it opens up a space like that. I got my hand caught in there one time, super painful. But this, because it's a little bit harder to do for unfamiliar hands, can lead to really dangerous situations on a range, as we'll see a little bit later. My best advice is give it a good grip, push in different directions until you can't go anymore, and then just push up on that lever and let it go. The semi-automatic grip, ruined by the media, television, movies. They're still rocking the 1970s teacup version. I mean, your left hand basically isn't doing jack monkey with this grip. If you just grip the pistol like this, and then just give it like a thumbs up. That's pretty much the easiest way I can describe it. So I got your right hand like this. Give me the thumbs up, and then just push forward. And if you can concentrate on getting both of your thumbs like this, you're going to be set to go. This hand just kind of wraps around this area here. You see it on this side. And that's it. That is the semi-automatic grip, and it's super uncomfortable for most people. If you have a blow dryer at home or a hammer, you can practice that grip. Again, right hand is normal. You give them the good thumbs up, push forward, and just stack your thumbs on top of each other like that. And these 4 fingers just wrap right around the bottom like that. So practice that before class. You're going to go a long way. Next up, revolver grip. And remember, we're not doing the 1970s teacup thing anymore because that means that this is absolutely useless. So let's start with the right hand. Nothing too special. You want to get as high up on the revolver back strap as possible, like this. And then with your left hand, these four fingers are just going to fold under here. And the left thumb is going to fold right around the right thumb like that. And I will say this is how the NRA wants us to teach it. Cocking with your left thumb is a lot easier to keep your eyes on the sights like that versus going with the right hand thumb. But whatever, whichever way you want to do it is fine. Just remember that you don't want to have anything past the front end of the cylinder. Okay, let's talk about the 3 rules that you should be following 100% of the time when handling a firearm. And honestly, guys, it's really difficult to do anything 100% of the time, but when you're handling a firearm, you gotta do it 100% of the time. So what I'm gonna do is give you some examples of how outside things can affect your ability to be safe. And again, it's not like you don't wanna be safe, it's just things can happen on the outside and to pull you out of that norm, to distract you. So again, the objective is to give you these examples to heighten your awareness that you have to put extra effort into being safe so that if one of these things do happen, you have the ability to handle it. Let me go back to the locking the slide back example so I can show you how that can be an utter disaster for new shooters. So I'm going to back up a second. I'm going to use this wooden dowel as a way to represent a safe direction. So ideally, you want your body to be parallel when you're working on the slide, right? So that it's not flagging to the left or to the right. But with new shooters, when you go out there, working this thing is very difficult and you're not taking real notice of how your body is kind of bladed off to the side. So when they try to get that leverage on there, they're bringing it close to their body, and now this degree here is the safe angle, and now you have a flag way over here pointing at the person to the left. That's super bad, and oftentimes this little guy will drift right on the trigger. Now you have a student out there trying to rack the slide with their finger on the trigger at the same time. So all I do is I tell them to turn sideways and work the slide this way. So when you're at the range, make sure that if you're going to manipulate the slide or do any type of work on the slide, get parallel to the target and work it that way. Examples 2 and 3 are fairly common, but they're very easily fixed. So let's pretend we got a guy going like this and they go, "Hey, Kimo," and he looks that way. That's super bad. Now you're flagging everybody to the right here. If you're going to do that, you can do 2 things. Just put the gun down or get disciplined enough to make sure that when you turn your head that your arms don't follow. Keep those arms pressed forward. That'll help a lot. Second, I'm going to pick on the females for just a second because I've only had it happen to females. Shooting like this, hot brass goes flying, somehow gets stuck into that low cut bra area. And now I've seen this from afar. Lady with her finger on the trigger, trying to get the hot brass out and just waving that gun around. Range officers flipping out, people ducking for cover. Please, if that ever happens to you, put the gun down. And if you insist on hanging onto the gun, at least get it up over the edge of the table and point it to the ground. But those are some of the common mistakes that you see with rule number 1, which is make sure you keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction at all times and know what's beyond your target. And number 2, keeping your finger off of the trigger until you're ready to fire. And we're going to end with the 3rd rule, which is make sure your gun is unloaded until it's ready to use. Now, in my opinion, if it's a home defense gun, it should always be loaded because it's always ready to use. People are going to argue it both ways, but that's just my personal opinion. But really what that 3rd rule is there is to make sure that you can just reset the status of the gun if you don't know what it is, if it's loaded or not loaded. So, of course, first thing, you put it on safety. If you can put it on safety, you drop the magazine, then you can inspect the chamber. Now, if you're not comfortable doing any of that stuff and you don't want to say, hey, I don't know whose gun that is or if it's loaded or not, get a range officer or somebody with more experience so they can take care of it for you. Guys, that's the ending of the video. So if you're in the state of Hawaii and you got to take the pistol safety class, I hope this helps you get more enjoyment out of it when you take the class. Guys, if you liked the video, please give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And as always, I will catch you later.